Good evening and welcome to the August 2 regular meeting of the Holland City Council. I am Mayor Nathan Box. I'm calling this meeting to order. Kathy, would you please call the roll?
Byrd.
Present.
Freeman. Here. Peters. Here. Corbin. Here. Coronado. Here. Arnshorst.
Here.
Hoekstra.
Here.
Raymond.
Here.
Mayor Box.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Wonderful, thank you. We're going to begin this evening's meeting as we have for many years, first with the opening prayer this evening by Councilmember Byrd, followed immediately by the Pledge of Allegiance, and we invite you to join us.
Yes, I ask you all to pray with me. Father, we thank you today. We come with the spirit of thanksgiving. We have a beautiful summer day. We have each other. We have our family members, Lord. We have a beautiful city that we get to call home, that we get to deliberate and do what's best for our community. So many things going on in the world right now, so many issues to be divided on. But I just want to stop and say thank you. Thank you for life. Some people had friends, families, loved ones who didn't wake up this morning. And they get to deal with the reality of that for the rest of their lives. But we get to sit here again in this beautiful city. And as we do that, I want to say thank you so much for loving us, so much for caring for us, and so much for everything that you've done for us. In Jesus' mighty name, amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Quincy. Next item are our consent agenda items, and these are items that are considered to be fairly routine. They have been reviewed by council as part of our regular packet, and they will be enacted in one motion unless a member of the public or a member of city council asks to have an item removed from the consent agenda and placed in its regular order on the regular agenda. But before I ask that, Kathy, would you please review the consent agenda for us?
4B, approval of minutes, July 19, 2023 regular meeting and July 26, 2023 study session. 4D, city clerk, claims filed against the city. 4E, transportation services, approve agreement with CSX Transportation for grade crossings on the 6th Street reconstruction project. 4F, Parks and Recreation, Moran Park concrete project, award bid. 4G, purchasing downtown group, holiday lighting in downtown and Centennial Park, award bid. 4H, management and administrative services, revocable license agreement, 16 East 8th Street, projecting sign. 4I, management administrative services, Waverly Fire Station renovation project, purchase of SCBA bottle filler compressor. 4J, internal services, technology services, phone services, award proposal.
Great, thank you. Is there any member of the public that would like to have an item removed from the consent agenda and placed in its regular order on the regular agenda? Seeing none. Any member of council that would like to have an item removed from consent and placed on the regular agenda?
Your Honor,
Mr. Hoekstra.
I would request item 4J, internal services, be removed.
All right, and that will be then added as item 12E 7.1 on the regular agenda.
Mayor.
Yes, Mr.
Then
Byrd.
I would like to remove F, Parks and Recs, 12E 3.1.
All right, and that will then be at 12E 3.1. Thank you. Yes, 12E 3.1. Okay. Anyone else? Seeing none, what is the pleasure of council in regard to the consent agenda?
I move we approve the consent agenda for August 2nd, 2023, with the two items F and J to be placed later in the agenda.
Okay. Moved by Arnshorst. Is there support?
Support.
Support by Coronado. Any discussion? Seeing none. Kathy, would you please call the roll?
Byrd.
Yes.
Freeman.
Yes.
Peters.
Yes.
Corbin.
Yes.
Coronado.
Yes.
Arnshorst.
Yes.
Hoekstra.
Yes.
Raymond.
Yes.
Mayor Box.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Great, thank you. Next item on the agenda is public comment. Under the Open Meetings Act of the State of Michigan, we provide the opportunity for members of the public to address not only City Council, but all of our boards, committees, and commissions. We do have some guidelines that we ask that you follow. One is that each person may speak only one time. Your time is limited to 5 minutes, and you'll notice there are 3 lights on the dais in front of me, a green light, a yellow light, and a red light. The green light means you're doing well on time. The yellow light means that you have 1 minute left. And when the red light comes on, your time has expired, and we are strict about that. This is an opportunity for you to speak to council about anything that you would like to. There is not discussion during this time, or we don't answer questions, but staff may be able to follow up with you if you have a specific question that you want to speak about. When you approach the microphone, please state your name and the municipality in which you live. That gives an opportunity to know who it is that's speaking to us. Having said that, is there anyone here who would like to address council at this time? If so, please come forward. And would you please state your name and municipality for the record?
Ann Henriksen, Zealand. A local pastor and family had guests with young children from out of town. They took them out to the state park. As they were walking out on the rocks of the pier, they saw a couple engaged in affection laying together on the lower tiered rocks. As they approached, the men realized the affection was sexual engagement. The 2 men discussed with their wives to shelter the children's eyes and to walk along beside them as a barrier to what was taking place. The men stepped down on the lower rocks, interrupted the young people, and demanded that they properly dressed. They could have walked by saying nothing. They could have cared enough for their but they cared enough for their family, for others who may pass by, but even more so the young people who had thought their sexual behavior could be done in public. With the same concern for others, the residents of Holland and their guests have values and standards for their city and demand of their government to say enough to June sexual pride events. June 24th, 2023 Pride event is meant to celebrate lesbians, gays, bisexuals, transgenders, people, but it is, in actuality, in many instances, a demonstration of their sexual behavior. A familiar phrase back in 2010 was not what they do, but who they are. In this 2023 festival, it has turned into not what they are, but what they do. An ACLU tent was taking signatures for a ballot issue to make the morning after pill for self-abortions available for all ages in schools and public restrooms. Next to their tent was Black Lives Matter table, displaying children and middle school books of literature of Black LGBT plus youth stories of sexual content. Genderqueer was among them. Another tent displayed a marijuana leaf sign pictured on a flag labeled sexual underneath it. Holland Police Department officers were present as a safety measure for all the people, so grateful for their outstanding service. A man holding a large banner of scripture was standing on the sidewalk within the park. Also present were just 5 people with Bibles in their hands, preaching and praying. A sentinel said there were 20 protesters threatening the crowd. Out on the lakeshore, personnel requested the Holland police remove these visitors. The safety officers refused to do so. The crowd passing by on the sidewalk began to explode with vulgar sexual language at these visitors. Holland Hospital, Pine Rest, Resilience, Miller Knoll, Holland Corral, League of Women Voters, Holland Human Relations Commissions, 4 local churches, Doug Zeinstruck, County Commissioner, all had tents supporting the festival. Rainbow crafts, flags, clothing wear tents were present. Most were reputable people and businesses, but I wondered if they knew they were affiliated with some very explicit sexual offerings from participants. The Drag Queen Story Hour for children scheduled at Hayworth was canceled because the people associated with Hope College complained. It was removed to out on the Lakeshore facility. It was canceled again because Facebook messages organized a quiet protest. The media labeled it a violent threat. Finally, it was moved to Miller Knoll Corporation. The employees and community complained, and it was again canceled. Be reminded, Mayor Box, chairman of Civic Center Board with Mike Schuttheis, was responsible for a drag brunch 2019. Mike is a candidate for the council at large for the 2023 election. How can taxpayer dollars support an event that most of Holland and surrounding area would not attend? This city belongs to those who live here. One of Mayor Bach's statements in 2019 was, "And I get to live here. What about the rest of the people who live here?" Something must change, council.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to address council at this time? And would you please state your name and municipality for the record?
For sure. My name is Doug Zylstra. I live at 152 East 24th Street. I'm the County Commissioner for the City of Holland. So, Mr. Mayor and Council, just want to stop by and give a quick update about what's going on in Ottawa County. Yesterday, we began our 2024 budget process. It's going to look a bit different this year. As far as our budget itself, initial budget draft indicates total appropriation of $268 million over our various funds. This compares to $254 million from fiscal 2023. As far as general fund appropriations, initial recommended budget is for $112 million. That compares to $105 million from the previous year. Much of this growth is from substantial property value increases we saw last year, but also stem from increased state revenue sharing dollars, as well as other state and federal resources. It is my commitment as Commissioner to keep improving service levels throughout our departments, but I would especially like to focus on making sure we develop more resources around helping residents navigate our court systems, as well as offer our veterans the additional resources they need through our Veteran Affairs Department. We need to be able to stand ready to serve all our residents in as many ways as possible, but making sure our veterans and those involved in the court system have the tools and resources they need is one of the best ways we can place ourselves at the service of those who most need and deserve it. We do have a series of special follow-up meetings on both capital improvement plan and the budget, which is a bit different than previous years. Next Tuesday, we'll have a special planning session to approve the capital improvement plan. This plan consists of a concerted effort to maintain funding at a capped minimum. This effort will be led off with a $5 million contribution from our ARPA funds to help fund the next 3 to 4 years of capital improvement. That cap minimum, hopefully, will be $5 million per year, and we'll see what we can do at that, and hopefully we can add to it as we go. Next Thursday, August 10, we'll have a first of 3 work sessions on the budget at 9 a.m. Next work session on the budget is Monday, August 21 at 11, and the final work session to approve the finance budget will be Tuesday, September 19 at 10:30. I hope as many members of the Ottawa community can make these meetings or catch them on YouTube. Lastly, I want to announce my August coffee hour this Friday at 11 o'clock at Bowerman's at 8th and Central. Anyone is welcome to stop by. But if you can't make it, residents are welcome, as always, to reach out at dzylstra@myottawa.org or my personal number, 616-443-4281. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to address council at this time? And would you please state your name and municipality for the record?
My name is David Barnowski, and I vote in Port Sheldon Township. I founded a Facebook group called Ottawa Objects because I do not support the Ottawa Impact Commissioners in our county commission. I support precisely 2 of the county commissioners, and that's one of them. The other is Roger Bergman, and I strongly support them, and they need your support. Our county is under attack, as is our public health department, our public mental health department, and other parts of the county that are yet to be identified. They'll attack through the budget process, which is starting soon. I hope you'll all pay attention. I hope you'll rouse the business community to pay attention. And I've met some of you in different capacities. I've worked elections. I go to a ridiculous number of meetings just because I retired and started going to the county commission when all of this insanity started happening right in front of me. So I hope you'll all join me in paying closer attention to the county until, because we're losing employees. The management is deteriorating. You've all seen it happening in the paper. I hope you'll pay closer attention, and I hope you'll put some effort into supporting Doug Zylstra, Roger Bergman, and other people who are trying to restore the county commission to what it once was. Now, it was not perfect. I'm a Elizabeth Warren Democrat, but I would take any one of the previous Republican commissioners over who are in there now. I got to know them before they got defeated, and I have some beefs with them too, but not like who's in there now. I also was at the Holland Pride, and I did not see any of the things that the other speaker had spoke of. There was a celebration of who they were. I didn't see anything that I really objected to. I didn't understand it all, but I didn't hate on it either. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to address council at this time? And would you please state your name and municipality for the record?
Yeah, my name is Larry Shattuck. I live at 930 South Shore Drive. I'm running for mayor, as you all know. I'd like to come up here and say, first of all, I am grateful for the amount of service that you folks put together, all of you here, particularly how you support the protection of our city here. That's important to me. Some of you know I've been in the security world for a lot of years, 20 plus. I work with some of the best people in the industry, people in the cyber world, a lot of them, some in the physical world. And it's come to my attention, I don't know if you know this or not, but there's a promotion of yours going on, Mayor, on TikTok.City of Holland. And that really concerns me a lot. It's not a good idea. I know that you all pay attention to the importance of keeping the city safe and keeping the citizenry safe here. I don't know how that got up there, but you might want to consider taking a second look at it. There's a lot of reasons not to be using that platform. There's a record of censorship. It tempts youth to do really stupid things. The data collection that's used on that platform can take the private information of citizenry. It's been known to compromise many of the devices that it's on. There's a reason that people around the world are responding not to use this platform. In June of 22, India banned TikTok, saying, prejudicial to sovereignty and the integrity of India, defense of India, security of the state, and public order. In 2020, Reuters reported TikTok pullout of Hong Kong following issues surrounding the region in Hong Kong. August 20, U.S. government, that was back when President Trump was actually in, and he actually suggested pulling TikTok, followed by evidence that ByteDance might take action that threatens to impair the national security of the United States. Shortly after that, the U.S. governmental agencies banned TikTok on all federally owned devices. That's according to The Guardian, by the way, and several other news agencies. And then the state of Michigan followed suit shortly after that, from what I understand, from all of its devices. BBC reported that even the Taliban-run Afghanistan issue a ban on TikTok for leading Afghan youths, for leading them astray. I know that you all, including you, Mayor, really do love this city. I know you do. I really do. And I appreciate that. But I've been in this business for 20 years, and all the people that I talk to that I know of realize that it's kind of important to be paying attention to this. This is a threat. This is a real significant threat, and it's right here in our door. And I would just suggest that however it got there, it may not even be there now, I don't know. But I've seen it. I saw the tagline, TikTok.City of Holland, on it. I'd suggest that we figure out a way to make that not happen. Allow me to suggest that it'd be really good to encourage the community not to have an account there, not to have an application on their phone, and then not to encourage other users to sign up for it. That would be my suggestion after the years I've spent in service with other people around the country protecting a lot of this country, a lot of its critical assets. I would suggest that we do the same here, folks. Again, I know how much you all love this town, and I would just appreciate it if that would be something we take a look at. One other thing I had heard just recently, it's possible somebody may have hacked your site. I don't know, Mayor. I don't know for sure. But it's reported that somebody may have hijacked it, and there's it is not, by the way, it's not here in the United States. It's overseas, and it's reported that there's pornography being sold and stuff like that. So I'd suggest you take a look at it. I know you wouldn't have nothing. You just want to take a look at it. And, by the way, my site was hacked as well.
Mr. Mayor, that is 5 minutes.
I'm sorry, your time has expired.
Thank you. Bye.
Is there anyone else who would like to address council at this time? Seeing none, I will close the public comment period. Next item on our agenda, item 9, written petitions and communications. In addition to providing the opportunity for people to speak to council directly at our meetings, we also do provide an email address, and that is publiccomment@cityofholland.com. publiccomment@cityofholland.com. Those emails come to all city council members. We review those in between our regular meetings, and if we do have some, we accept them into the record at our regular meetings. We don't read them out loud, but we do accept them as part of the record, and we do not have any this evening. Just want to make sure that people were aware of that opportunity. We are now into the items that were taken off of the consent agenda, and the first one would be item 12E 3.1 Moran Park Concrete Project. Mr. Van Beek.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council. I am going to ask Garrett Phelan to come up here. I think most of you know him, but we always like to give opportunities for our staff at all levels to come up. Garrett is our Deputy Director and is doing a fantastic job, and you're running point on this project. So we're going to give Garrett an opportunity to talk about what's happening at Moran Park.
Thank you.
Hi, Garrett.
Hi. So, yes, so I know you just pulled off the cement work, but I think it'd be important to talk about the entire scope of the project that's going to take place there. There's a lot of good things happening in that neighborhood at Moran Park specifically. So I just think it'd be a good chance to show us where we're at on that and kind of when we'll be finished with everything. So this is from today, is that correct, Matt? So we got some drone footage from today as far as what the park looks like now. As you can see, the 5 tennis courts to the south are ripped up right now, and I talked to the contractor today, and we are going to be able to complete that probably in about 2 weeks. That side will get done, and then we'll switch over to pickleball. So all that will be resurfaced, and this is something that was approved probably 2 budget cycles ago, but with all the issues we had with contractors, COVID, and everything else, we're able to get it across the finish line now, and it's something that we're really excited about, and the tennis community and pickleball community are extremely excited about. So there's just another look at it. It's that same service that you guys were able to go out to Matt Urban basketball court out and check out. So this is just going to be done on a larger scale. That was done as a test product, and it's going really, really well out there. That project that we didn't think that we were going to be able to repair that court, and this has been a cost-effective option. And there's a long guarantee to that product, and it's actually better for the participants that are using it. And so you guys know that the playground went in as well. So this is going to be just a connection of when we work into this cement project that we're working on now, is going to be a connection of a futsal court into connecting the tennis courts as well as to the playground. So as far as the cement work goes, everything that's in that yellow rectangle is going to be coming out. We found it after talking to fence companies, excavating companies, and obviously cement companies that it's going to be most effective to rip everything out that we have there and just have a complete new pour. It's going to extend about 20 more feet to the east as far as the cement goes, and then there'll also be the fencing that goes around it as well. So this is what the new layout's going to look like. So the existing walls that you guys saw on the previous slide here are going to come down. There's been mixed reviews on what people think about those walls as of late, once there's words gotten out that those walls might be coming down. My phones rang a little bit more, so we were able to find a compromise for that, which I'll get to. But those will be coming down, and this is what the result will be. Obviously, this is something that's just copied and pasted over the initial layout. But what we'll have here is a 10-foot fence that goes around the north, west, and south sides of the futsal court. And then there will be a 4-foot section for people to kind of be able to spectate a little more freely on the east side. The basketball court that's there existing is going to get revamped. Right now, it's a pretty skinny basketball court, so this will be back up to a regulation width, and one of the hoops will be replaced out there. The other one will just be removed permanently. So this is example, the one on the picture on the left is what Grand Rapids currently has. They have 2 courts. And it's gone really, really well for them. And that's the picture on the right, is just a stock photo of what a futsal court kind of functions as. So we're able to kind of take what would be just basically make a mini soccer game and allow the community to get involved, and they can play anywhere from 1-on-1 all the way up to 7v7. It kind of functions like just a basketball court in a park would, but they're just playing a different game. And then as far as the hitting walls go, in response to what the community is looking for on that, we've been able to provide what we're going to look at as a better service, more of a curved hitting wall that provides a more true to the game of tennis response as far as the ball hitting the wall, so you can kind of see that it's curved on both sides. So when somebody's hitting against the wall, it's not just hitting downward to the ground, it's actually going to be hitting back to them like they're actually playing against an actual player, as opposed to just having an unnatural movement in response to the game of tennis. And this is where we're coming at budget-wise. MCIF project that you guys approved through last budget cycle put this at 85. We got a little bit of a buffer there, but we also have some other touches that we have some other things in mind, like windscreens that will help give a tasteful look to the park, just to make sure that we're able to make sure that's done right, basically. And then beyond that, we'll explore what a lighting system could look like for this futsal court, and just as we see what the response is to for the community. We think it's going to be a positive one overall, but we're going to kind of wait and see before we do add the lights in on that part. And that's what I have. Any questions?
Any questions for staff? Yeah, Jay.
What kind of comments did you get from people about that hitting wall?
The comments is that they like to use it, and so we're going to be able to basically provide a different one for them to use.
I would not like to, I cannot imagine how many hours I spent whacking a ball against those walls.
Yep.
And I do have some emotional attachment to it, and I can't explain it. So your solution there of a curved wall, I think, is really cool. And the fact that you listen and we can still do that, I think is great. Did I get confused with the tennis court? Is that soccer something different, or is that going to, where's the basketball court there?
So the basketball court.
Same place it is now.
Yeah, so as it exists, I can go back. So as you see, there's two basketball courts that are back to back from each other. And so one of those courts will have to be removed, so the futsal court can come in.
Right.
But the other one, as we look on the 3-point line, there's not a whole lot of space. And so we'll be able to just extend that concrete and provide a better basketball service for that.
That gets a lot of, I grew up on that court playing. Anybody who played basketball for Holland High School, we regularly kicked Holland Christian's butt. Practiced and played on that court every night, every summer, and it was, I don't know, I have an emotional attachment to that area. When the tennis court program with Tiger Two-Sink was running all that, it was a well-run thing, and it exposed a lot of people to a lot of healthy habits, and I think it got kids into athletics. At 7th and 8th and 9th grade, we had a tremendous young tennis program back then, and I'm sure we still do. But. So I just appreciate the thought that went into that, and listening to people about change, I guess.
Yeah, and to your point, I think it's a great hub to the community, and I think this is just an extension of that. Through futsal, through having basketball there, tennis, pickleball, it's really going to be a melting pot of a community that's out at Moraine Park.
Great. Thank you. Thanks for doing that.
Mr. Burt?
Yes, I asked you to pull it off the agenda, the consent agenda, just because had some people asking what's going on, and the overview that you gave is really good. One question, this will be in the packet, correct, for us to be able to pull up later on?
Yeah, so one thing, just a reminder, this presentation, there's a place on the website that always has its meeting visuals or some when you go into and then whatever we have on a PowerPoint is available there. Sorry.
Okay.
So if you go to that meeting visuals, if you have any problems, let Matt or I or Cinca know, and they can walk you through it. And then you'll be able to, because I think that's what you're asking, Quincy, then you'll be able to access this and forward it to anyone.
Yes. Cool. Thank you. I'm excited about this. Ever since we start putting investments into Moran Park, it's become a different piece of property. That started all the way back when the pickleball courts were put in. I live one block over, halfway down, and it is always buzzing. It can be 11 o'clock at night, people are down there playing pickleball. And it's not just one or two people, it's probably 5, 6, you can't play with 5, but there's at least 6 people down there playing pickleball, and they're having a great time. I'm sure the pickleball community is going to be disappointed a little bit just because they don't have that time to play, but the end outcome will probably be more than they expect. So I'm looking forward to that. The new playground equipment, ever since that went in, it's crazy down there. If you ride down there, every day I come up after work, I come home and the whole side of the street is full. There's not a parking spot there ever on the weekday. And it's just a testament to the upgrades, the investment that we've put into that, and what that's done for the community. It's revitalized it, and people are loving it. They have fun down there. So I'm all for this, and thank you. Actually, one last question about the fencing on this basketball court. You said 10 feet on what areas?
Yeah, so I apologize. I didn't explain that as well. So the futsal court, just because of the ball being kicked around a lot more, it's just going to go around what the futsal court will be. So it's only going to go around that bottom part. The fencing, there isn't going to be any that goes around the basketball court on the north or the east side of that. So that'll be open, but because of having a futsal court on the backside, there'll naturally be fencing there, and then the tennis fencing that's existing will obviously be there as well.
So where the hoop is, then that's going to be open next to the road there?
We're going to have a different fence because that one has seen better days.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
But there will be a fence there regardless?
There will be,
Okay,
yeah.
good. My son plays a lot of basketball down there, so.
Yep.
All right, thank you very much, I appreciate it.
Yep.
You good? No? Any other comments, questions? I just have one question. Is it really going to be outlined in orange?
No, we haven't picked the color yet, but that's what we found, so.
You got my hopes up.
Yeah,
You got my
yeah.
hopes up. All right, great. Thank you very much.
Yep.
What is the pleasure of council in regard to item 12E 3.1, Brand Park Cement Work?
Move to approve.
Moved by Byrd. Is there support?
Support.
Support by Coronado. Any discussion? Kathy, would you please call the roll?
Freeman.
Yes.
Peters.
Yes.
Corbin. Yes. Coronado.
Yes.
Arnsworth.
Yes.
Hoekstra.
Yes.
Raymond.
Yes.
Byrd.
Yes.
Mayor Box.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Great, thank you. Next item that had been removed from the consent agenda, item 12E 7.1, Technology Services, Phone Services. Mr. Van Beek.
Thank you. An advantage of having an assistant city manager that has a lot of people report to him and coming up through the ranks is that he's also been our IT director at one point. So I'm not even going to pretend. Matt, why don't you take this one for us?
So if you can explain to me, Keith, what a PRI is, I'll buy lunch tomorrow.
That's only because I'm not going to be here tomorrow, so you're willing to take that risk. So don't even try it.
Oh, good evening, council. This one comes to you as a bit of an emergency. As you know, we're going on to 3 weeks without our phones functioning thoroughly. We do have a system where the main lines are working, but I was joking with Keith, but a PRI is actually the way our phone traffic used to be carried in and out of the facility. Those systems, those cards have served this community for about 30 years. And unfortunately, our vendor has made some changes to those that caused the issue with our phone system. So what you have before you is a contract for 5 years for about $58,000 with 123net to implement SIP trunking, so full IP phone trunking for our phone system. This will get the phones back up running, and hopefully within a week from this approval. Since this is a contract, it does have to come to you, although we're bringing it to you as an emergency. The good news is that we are a member of FogNet, so that's the Ottawa area fiber optic group. If you remember that, our phone system actually resides in Grand Haven, and we have a backup over at the BPW, and we have a whole consortium of people that share that phone system to save cost. FogNet does offer a discount through that group for those SIP trunks, so our overall cost will actually be roughly half of what we're paying now. So while we didn't actually send this out to bid, we think the emergency nature of it, the fact that we're actually going to be saving a lot of money from where we're at right now, is a justification to come for you for approval.
Any questions for staff? Dave?
Yeah, the reason I asked to pull this off is because the ghost of Mike Trethui sort of visited me. And understanding the challenge of what we're facing right now, and it is a bit of an emergency, we are bypassing our normal bid process. So I wanted to have an explanation of why it was necessary to do that, as well as to make sure that legally we're able to do that. In addition to that, I have one question spurred by a comment you just made, Matt. You said that our vendor made changes to our existing system and that caused the problem. Are those problems a nature of natural obsolescence, or is this a problem with our vendor? If you know what I mean.
So as you know, our current vendor is not the vendor that we're recommending going to. We did experience some challenges. We were not able to undo what was done to get those phones back up quickly. We are recommending going with a different vendor, partially based on the experiences that we've had over the last several weeks.
Oh, I commend you for a very politically savvy answer. If it's not prudent to answer this, okay, but do we have any recourse with our vendor?
We really don't at this point, none that we can see.
Okay, then I'll ask our attorney if this is cool to do.
Well, if city council decides to do it, it is within your province. I'm just taking a look real quick here at the charter, and there is a provision allowing emergency purchases under 2-51. I think with the circumstances as described by Matt, that certainly could warrant justification for the purchase.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions for staff? All right. What is the pleasure of council in regard to 12E 7.1, Technology Services, Phone Services, awarding the proposal?
Will we adopt the recommendation?
Moved by Hoekstra. Is there support?
Support.
Support by Aaronshorst. Any discussion? Seeing none. Kathy, would you please call the roll?
Peters,
Yes.
Corbin.
Yes.
Coronado,
Yes.
Aaronshorst,
Yes.
Hoekstra,
Yes.
Raymond,
Yes.
Byrd,
Yes.
Freeman,
Yes.
Mayor Box.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Great, thank you. Communications from the city manager, Mr. Van Beek.
Yes, I do have some, but I promise I'll go quick, as you all roll your eyes when I say I have several things, right? No, just kidding. First of all, I asked Andy and Garrett to stay. A lot of times we know that staff do their thing and they slip out, but just really wanted to thank you for recognizing, and also you don't always get a chance to see, you see the directors, right? And you don't see the depth and the quality of the people underneath those directors that are fantastic and do great work every day. And I think you saw that in Garrett today. So just wanted to say thank you to you all, but also thanks, Garrett. Thanks, Andy. We have great teams, and it's top to bottom. And actually, our teams aren't top to bottom. It's just we're all doing the work. So we have a lot of great people. Second, you will see down at the end of the dais there next to Mr. Van Dyken, we had the second part of our community exchange last week with Walker. I gave a short little write-up. Maybe some of you all are going to also talk about that, but very great experience, and I wanted to make sure they have bags. So any of you that weren't there or maybe forgot your bag and you were there, make sure you pick up one of those bags, and there's a lot of cool things in there, but at least one or two things that I'm sure you will all enjoy. So make sure you pick that up on your way out, okay? Third, some of you might mention things about this also. National Night Out was a smashing success last week. You know that I've always said for every mayor that I've ever worked with, nice days are mayor day, mayor and council days, rainy days are city manager days. Thank you. It was a mayor council night last night because it was a beautiful night. I sometimes get excited about different things than other people. I think the thing that was so cool to me is that while we had all kinds of staff out there working booths and working tables and helping kids with free ice cream and demonstrations and everything, I must have seen 15 to 20 staff on their own time with their families walking around down there too, which is just really cool to see. So I love that, and I know there's always a disproportionate number of city staff that watch these meetings too. So way to go, guys. Love to see it. Study session next week. I know that I can't kind of keep you updated on stuff. There's a few things that aren't quite ready yet. So next week we are planning on doing a go on Matt Helmus is going to come in and give an update on some Windmill Island Garden kind of sneak preview on things that are coming up and reports on how things are going. And then we are going to have the mobile command unit that I know a lot of you have been excited to see. It is here. So we're going to make arrangements that will be out in the parking lot, and then you can see that up close and personal. And then we're going to take a drive out, and Matt's excited. A lot of us are excited for you to see the progress on the Waverly Street Fire Station.
Are we going to take the mobile command unit?
We're not going to take the mobile command unit, but we'll have some discussions. Come prepared. I don't know if we'll necessarily all jump in a van and then all come back en masse here, or maybe we might just say, hey, kind of carpool a little bit and take a limited number of cars or something. We'll have directions for you next Wednesday night. And like, I know some of you at least we'll have flexibility there, but just plan on that's what we're going to do next week, Wednesday night. And then finally, I won't get into details since we're on TV or anything, but I know a lot of you know that I got a couple crazy weeks coming up. So I'll be here on all the Wednesday nights, but I'll be in and out a little bit doing some pretty cool things with my kids, including marrying one of them off to a great young man. So excited about that, and but I'll still be around. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is appointments and communications from the mayor. I could go on and on about City of Walker. That was absolutely fantastic. I often wonder to myself, is it worth 2 days of council time and staff time to do that? And I am always rewarded that it is a great, great opportunity. And other council members that were there, I'll let them elaborate more on that if they want to, because I have a lot of appointments tonight, so I'm going to try to keep the other things short. And also National Night Out as well. What a great night, what a great opportunity for the City of Holland, our first responders, our staff members, our departments, our boards, committees, and commissions to have the opportunity to be able to meet the public, for the public to meet them. I think just about every other table was a table that was somehow related to the City of Holland or something that's going on here. It was great to see all the folks out there, all the smiling faces, and just the droves and droves of people that came out. It was fantastic. I do have a recommendation for some appointments, reappointments for council, so I would ask that the council please approve the reappointments of Catherine Ristola Bass to the Human Relations Commission for her second full term, that term expiring June 30, 2026. Victoria Farian to the Human Relations Commission for her first full term, said term expiring June 30, 2026. John DeCluche to the International Relations Commission for his second full term, with that term expiring June 30, 2026. Utimio Tim Marroquin to the District Library Board for his third full term, with that term expiring on June 30, 2027. Bob Carlson to the Brownfield Redevelopment Authority for his sixth full term, with that term expiring June 30, 2026. David Meyer to the Brownfield Redevelopment Authority for his fourth full term, with that term expiring June 30, 2026. Joe Hobman to the Brownfield Redevelopment Authority for his first full term, with that full term expiring June 30, 2026. And the City of Holland council members Jay Peters, Scott Corbin, Nikki Ehrshorst, the Holland Board of Public Works Board of Directors member Carolyn Maloof, and City of Holland Finance Director Lynn McCammon to the Holland Energy Fund for another full term expiring June 30, 2024. And just as an editorial note on that, there are a couple of council members that I'm nominating for that, where their term on council will be ending prior to their term on the Holland Energy Fund. We're going to be doing two things in that instance. One, we'll get other folks to replace you when that occurs, and then for the rest of council, we're going to work on changing that time frame so that we don't and run into this issue again, so that we have those terms expiring in November, right around election time, rather than expiring in June. So that is my recommendation to council. What is I'm looking for a motion in that regard.
Move to approve the list that you just provided.
All right, moved by Vreeman. Is there support? Support. Support by Byrd. Any discussion? All those in favor, say aye. 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 All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And that is all I have this evening. Appointments, motions, and communications from council members. Mr. Corbin, I believe that you do have some nominations.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. It's recommended that City Council accept the reappointment of Dean Prince to the Board of Public Review, or Board of Review. Term expires December 31st, 2026, and Fred Van Antwerp to the Board of Appeals as an alternate member. Term expires June 30th, 2026.
What is the pleasure of council in regard to the recommendation from Mr. Corbin?
Move to approve said recommendation.
Moved by Coronado. Is there support?
Support.
Support by Corbin. Any discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Any other appointments, motions, communications from council members? Yes, Mr. Byrd.
Yes, I just wanted to echo what Keith said about National Night Out. I thought it was a tremendous event. I've been to a few of them, fun. One of the things I did not see this year, which I thought I was going to, was a pie eating contest with the mayor involved.
What?
Didn't see that this year.
The mayor did run the fire department obstacle course.
Do you have proof?
I do have video.
So I think next year maybe we can have some of the city employees be involved in a pie eating contest. I would love to see that, as would others.
If asked, I will participate.
You too?
As long as I get to eat the pie or choose the pie. And oh, by the way, we had a basketball tournament here, kind of informal. So, Mr. Peters, like we can recreate something anytime, man.
I'm gonna give the floor back to Mr. Byrd. Sorry about that, Quincy, for interrupting you.
That's really it. It's another event that happens that shows how wonderful Holland is. Another one is Tuesday night concerts. I have not been to them, but I continue to hear how awesome they are, how jam-packed the park is. So Holland's full of activities. Holland's full of people who love the community. Holland's full of people who go out and enjoy life. So it's, again, summertime in Michigan and then summertime in Holland, Michigan. Wonderful.
Thank you, Quincy. Any other council members, communications, appointments? Seeing none.
Wait,
Oh, sorry, go
I
ahead.
guess I should
Yes, Ms. Aaronshorst.
also reiterate what a good visit that was to Walker. And we love our Holland, and we think our Holland is the most wonderful place. I need to get out more. This was a beautiful place. It was beautiful driving down the road to it, the trees on both sides. We live in an urban area, and I forget that because I grew up in a bigger city, so this seems like a small city. Well, this is a smaller city, but they still love their city. It's beautiful. The council members were nice and knowledgeable and as devoted to their city as we are. And they have a lot of industry, some of the same problems. They're trying to figure out recreation and infrastructure and housing and all the other problems we have, just on different levels. So it was I agree, this is something we should continue to share if possible in the future.
Great. Thank you. Any other communications from council members?
Did they have heated sidewalks? Did they have heated sidewalks?
You know, they have inside ice rink.
Yeah. Mr. Hoekstra.
Yeah, not to elongate this process, but just came to mind that this past weekend was a celebration of a major art festival in Holland. The Tulip City Walls Mural Festival took place from Thursday through Sunday. And it was sort of our first attempt at a major festival like this, patterned after a mural festival in Jackson. And it was amazing to watch. I have to admit, being a big Dutchman, pop art is not something that I'm totally familiar with or had appreciated, but spending time there and watching the artists work, it was just amazing. You think you take a can of spray paint and just go for it, but there's an incredible amount of talent involved with that. And if you want to see the result, just drive down Columbia Avenue from 16th Street toward 24th and just take a look at some of the projects that were done there. It's absolutely incredible. I think it's estimated we had about 2,000 people come through the whole festival. It was really very well supported by the neighborhood and the community in general. And aside from the artistic and just the festival types of experiences, it really has energized the neighborhood, brought people together. I met a lot of people that I hadn't known before, and a lot of folks were making connections. So it's great for the neighborhood and great for the city. The committee's looking to make it more than a one-year endeavor. I'm sure they'll run out of walls in East Core, so it might spread a little bit. But thanks to all of the folks who helped put that together, especially a lot of city employees who gave us assistance and helped us navigate through a lot of things that we weren't quite sure of how to do that. But city staff, Garrett and his folks especially, helped a lot. So it was a great experience, and look next year for another iteration.
Great. Thank you, Dave. And one thing, I missed this, but I heard that it occurred. They had a dog parade on Friday afternoon.
Well, you know, Holland, if you have a parade in Holland, people will come out regardless if it's tulips or dogs. And yes, our canine unit was represented as the Grand Marshal, so it was a great affair.
Yes. Great. Mr. Freeman.
Just another community piece up in the Heights is the Heights of Hope race, and that is on Saturday, August 12th. You can easily register through their website, and they've done announcements all over the place. So it's every age group, and nice competition between all the different faith communities up there and different nonprofits that are running up in the Heights to see who can get more people participating. So it's all through the Holland Heights that Saturday.
Great. Thank you. Anyone else? There's just one more motion I would entertain at this time. Oh, thank you. Thank you for reminding me. Yes. Thank you. I know. You're right. We do need to enter, I do need a motion to enter a closed session to review and discuss written legal opinion regarding litigation and settlement strategies in the Melinda S. Heiberg Declaration of Trust matter, where a meeting in open session would adversely affect the city's litigating or settlement positions.
So moved by Corbin.
Moved by Corbin. Is there support? Support by Byrd. Any discussion? And Kathy, would you please call the roll?
Coronado?
Yes.
Arnshorst?
Yes.
Hoekstra?
Yes.
Raymond?
Yes.
Byrd?
Yes.
Freeman?
Yes?
Peters? Corbin? Mayor Box?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Great, thank you. And before we enter closed session, I just do want to let the public know we do not intend to have any action following the closed session. The only thing that we intend to do following the closed session is that motion that I was just about to ask for, which is the motion to adjourn. So no need to stick around. Obviously, you can if you want to watch us adjourn after the closed session, but we're going to be ending the TV play at this point. And we're going to be entering into the closed session and not coming back and engaging in any action. So with that, we are in closed session.
So my first meeting back, I'm getting thrown